Hello and welcome to this short YouTube broadcast. My name is Nathan Dring, and working with the Contact Centre panel, we're looking to a couple of times a week just bring you some thoughts, some ideas, some chat really about what are the sorts of things you can do individually or as a leader so that we can thrive during this home working time. So today, one of the things I want to consider is this: the question of what gets you out of bed. What gets you out of bed on a morning? What is it that motivates and fires you up and enthuses you to do the day job? What I hear a lot at the moment, I see it on LinkedIn, I see it on other kind of social media channels, I hear about it in conversations I have with people, is people saying, I'm starting to lose my motivation a little bit now. We're a few weeks in and I'm starting to lose my motivation. And what they really actually mean by that is they're starting to lose sight of, or they're struggling to find the sorts of things by which they're motivated. So there are triggers, there are certain things when we see it, we're like, lights are sparking us, and we are therefore more motivated. And so people are losing sight of those sparks. For some people, one of the sparks might be when I go to my place of work. There are people who I love to have face-to-face, actual conversations, interactions with, and now that I don't have that, I feel a bit less motivated. There may be people who really like new projects and new ideas. I mentioned in one of my earlier videos that I'm a bit of a crisis junkie. And so now perhaps they're in a time where it is stabilized and maintained, and there isn't quite the same push for newness. And so that is a trigger for motivation for them that isn't there. So they're struggling to find it. So, what is it that we are motivated by? And I think one of the big myths here actually is that leaders do the motivating, or people can be a motivator. What I think is meant by that is that people can find out and understand the triggers by which someone else is motivated. But actually, that being motivated is a personal choice. If you lead a team and someone in your team isn't motivated, you don't motivate them. They choose to be motivated or not. If you are watching this thinking, well, I feel a bit flat at the moment, someone's going to motivate me. My job here isn't to motivate you. Perhaps it's to put out a few things which spark something in you, and then you choose to be motivated. It's a decision of self. It can't be imposed on you, can't be pushed on you. You choose it. And so then, based on this, often organisations think, well, what must those external triggers be? And quite often it lands on money. So in one of the previous videos, we talked about the power of recognition and actually how the line blurs between recognition and reward. And people think, well, if I give money, then that'll be the thing. But actually, some research has been done to show that we are much more complicated than that. Motivation isn't simply bigger carrot, bigger stick. There is more to it. And so there's a brilliant piece of research that was done. It's a few years back, and if you want to look at it, it's by done at Massachusetts Institute of Technology, but put into the book Drive by Dan Pink. And he lands on just three really simple things. And these are the things I just want to briefly touch on today, and then you have a bit of a think about how they might apply to you or to your team if you lead. So the first thing he talks about is purpose. People need to have, and this is, by the way, this is intrinsic motivators. This is something that if I feel it, I am motivated, I get out of bed for. First one is purpose. That sense of, am I connected to a greater purpose? Do I know why I'm here? Do I know why my role exists? Do I know why I matter and why I'm important? Not just what I do and how I do it, but why. Do I have that purpose? Am I connected to a sense of purpose? That isn't just, can I quote the organisational values, or do I know the financial target for now, or am I aware of the quality score I need to hit, or do I know the AHT target? It's not that. It's the broader thing of, why am I here and why do I matter? So purpose, number one. Number two is a sense of, they call it mastery, but it's a sense of, am I getting better? Am I still struggling with the same things I struggled with last month, or have I moved on? Am I a little bit better than I was? And this is really powerful in the workplace, but it's also really powerful in outside of work, in hobbies we have. People take up musical instruments, they can see they get better. Maybe it's I'm going to do something in the garden. I'm going to see it improve, and I'm going to get better at those skills. There's a real thing about wanting to know that actually we're not still struggling with the same things. And if you look in one of the other talks I did, we talk about the comfort zone, the stretch zone, and the stress zone, how in those first two zones we can grow and develop. Really powerful. It's a key motivator. So that's number one, purpose. Number two, mastery. And number three is this, autonomy. Can I make some decisions for myself? Am I allowed? Now, if people feel like they have no power to make decisions, no control, then actually that's a real generator of stress. If I'm out of control and I can influence nothing, that generates stress in me. And as you may have heard previously, the more stressed we are, the more IQ drops. So therefore, I cannot be at my peak performance if I'm stressed. But can I make some decisions for myself? And there's a real challenge here to leaders is how can you allow that autonomy? What are the safe boundaries in which someone can play? And you say it's here to here, but you can kind of play in this middle space. I've mentioned I've got kids. I think there's photos in the background. My 3-year-old daughter is wonderful and a firecracker, and I will say to her every night, I'll give her her moment of autonomy every night when I say to her, "It's bedtime. Are you walking to bed, or am I carrying you?" So you see, she has full autonomy to choose. The hard and the fast is it is bedtime, and that is not up for negotiation. But how do you get there is up to you. You can choose that moment. And so, as leaders, one of the things are some things I'd like you just to consider this week, and maybe even if you're not a leader, just trying to get your mojo back a little bit. Think about those things. Purpose. Do I know what my purpose is? Do I know how I connect? Do I know why I matter? Maybe try and write down your own personal, your teams and your departments, why statement. Why do we exist? Probably first time you'll end up with what we do and how we do it, but try and refine that to why we exist. Find your purpose, hook into that. Second thing then is a sense of mastery. So what are the things I can be developing with? It might be I'm better on a Zoom call now than I used to be. I'm certainly, I mean, some fluffed lines, but I'm certainly better on these things and more comfortable with these YouTubes than I was on the first one. So what are the things that you can get better? Try not it's not get a degree while you're in COVID, but it's what are the things I can improve on, refine. Coaching helps with that. Ask for feedback. Ask people, what do I do well? Is there anything else I can tweak and change? How can I refine? How can I get even better? So purpose, mastery, and the third thing, autonomy. As leaders, this is one for you to set the boundaries. Where can you free up? Where can you say to someone it's A to B and you choose the route? And what are the opportunities you can do to do that? So I'd suggest they are three key intrinsic motivators. Get you out of bed on a morning. Purpose, mastery, and autonomy. So maybe have a think about those, and I will see you again in a few days. All the best. Take care.